Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome back, long time no see. I'm back, I'm not dead, I promise. The long story short is that I picked up a second job. And I'm very busy now. Because of said second job, I've gone from working maybe 20-hour weeks to over 40-hour weeks, and that's not even including the break time or the travel time to and from each job, so it's more like 50 hours. I'm warning you now, my boyfriend might wake up in the middle of this voiceover and his alarm might go off, and it is the sound of a screaming man, so hopefully that does not happen, but alas, if it does, pay him no mind. I guess another thing is I wasn't commonplacing. The reason I wasn't making videos is because I wasn't commonplacing. I had nothing to commonplace about. You'll see when I open up this book, we're doing a one-page spread, and there is another one page, like on the opposite page to the one we're doing, that I did, and that one was kind of forced. It was like let me find this article and just print it out and make a video, and then the video ended up only being like 8 minutes long, and it was like one of the most uninteresting spreads ever. So I was like, I'm not even gonna post this. I'm just gonna wait until I have the time to actually put into this journal and something to actually commonplace about. So we ended up commonplacing about perfume. I have a video on a perfume page. I don't know how long ago it was at this point. It's pretty long ago at this point, where I was considering getting back into wearing perfume, and maybe not daily perfume, but like a special occasion kind. And then also one of my characters in one of my books gifts another character perfume. And I was kind of going on a journey, because I'm a weirdo and obsessed, to try and figure out what that perfume would be in real life. And this page is kind of culmination of that. I literally went to work one day, or I went to Ulta before work one day, because it is conveniently like not even I could walk there. And it not be like a long walk, like it's across a parking lot sort of walk. To Ulta, and I was trying a bunch of perfumes, and then I went to work and I put them like all on my wrist, and I had all of my coworkers at the restaurant smell me and smell my arms at different points of the day, and we kind of all talked about, which we liked more and which we liked less, and blah blah blah. And I did fall in love with one of them, but it is like super expensive. It's the Gucci one, the red bottle that you see. Super expensive, but one of, I think, the most divine perfumes I've ever smelled. Not that I smell perfume very often, but anyway. And then, those are my bangs, my very wispy bangs. I'm so sorry about that. And then the other one was Burberry Her Eau de Toilette. I'm not French, don't yell at me. But I really liked that one. It was softer, it was sweeter, it was more like a daytime fragrance, but I also couldn't justify like $100 bottle. So then I did a lot of online research trying to find a dupe, and I settled on a few different options from Bath & Body Works. And then 2 weeks later, when I finally had time again, I went to Bath & Body Works and I sprayed a couple of the perfumes on paper, and kind of did the whole same test again of let's take them to work, let's see what my boyfriend says, let's see how they wear, and settled on Brightest and Bloom being a very good dupe for Burberry Her Eau de Toilette. Again, I don't have a very trained nose, so take that with a grain of salt. To me, they smell very similar. They smelled very similar. Obviously, the Burberry is going to be stronger, and it was like a little bit more nuanced. And then the Gucci was even more nuanced than the Burberry Hers. So that's how perfume works. Like, the more expensive it is, usually the higher, like the longer it lasts and the more nuanced the scent is. But the essence was the same. And then I still have the paper stubs of both the perfumes, and I left them in my journal for like a week. And I thought that the Bath & Body Works one smelled very similar heart notes wise to Burberry Her. So anyway, I think I'm gonna get it. I think I'm gonna try wearing perfume again. I started a job at a jewelry store, which is very fitting. If you've been around this channel, you're probably like, finally she's using all her nerdy knowledge. And it's been a wild ride of love-hate because it's very diamond focused, and I'm not necessarily a diamond girl. And obviously it's very sales focused, and I'm in it for the jewelry, not for like the commission, if that makes sense. And every store has their numbers and that sort of thing. So I'm trying to balance between loving being able to talk about and look at jewelry all day and learning in a real world experience, like how to take in jewelry repairs, what to call different settings, what to call different kinds of jewelry. They had their special diamond and designer event where 2 designers came in and brought in a bunch of loose gemstones and jewelry made with gemstones that I had only ever seen in pictures, like swarvite and alexandrite and beautiful, like museum worthy emeralds set in like gorgeous pieces. It was beautiful. It was like one of the most exciting things I think ever. And it's getting paid, and it pays decently well. So I've been adjusting to now having 2 jobs, having to learn a bunch of stuff for my new job because it's very diamond focused, and my hobby was not very diamond focused. And it's a very formal setting. I've had to adjust my wardrobe. I'm having like a wardrobe identity crisis. I think I'm just having an identity crisis. Let me just put that out there. I think I'm having an identity crisis, and I think I need someone to know, besides my boyfriend, that I'm having an identity crisis because, yeah, life is just crazy right now. It's one of those where, like, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, if you told me that this is how I would be living, I'd be like, what the heck? And definitely like 5 years ago, before I met my boyfriend, if you told me this is where I was going to end up in 5 years, I'd be like, what? No. So anyway, it's a bit more of a formal job, and so I've been having to adjust my wardrobe and try and find the middle ground between it still feels like me, it still feels like my personal style, but it's also formal enough for selling luxury items. Like, I'm selling jewelry, like that crap. I don't want to say crap, that jewelry is not cheap. It's very expensive, even the sterling silver stuff. If it's not cubic zirconia, it's gonna be a pretty penny, especially for, everyone's budget is different. So sometimes people come in with what's considered a lower budget, but for them it's like a top dollar budget, and they really want to buy something special for this person in their lives. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't have a lot of formal clothes. I thrifted a few pieces that are like, it's okay for now, and so I don't feel like myself wearing them. Or I feel a bit like myself, but I feel not enough like myself to be happy. And it's just an adjustment, and so that's where I've been. That's why I haven't posted. But I think the new job is interesting because it lets me practice formal etiquette. It lets me kind of pull on a different part of myself, a different side of myself that is more formal, that is more sophisticated, that is a little bit older, that feels like, I'm 24, it maybe feels like I'm like 27, 28 or something. Like, I don't know, it's just like a different experience. And so perfume is something that like every quote unquote, supposedly every woman should have like a signature scent. And I'd always loved the idea of that, but never felt like it was useful to me, especially given my minimalistic values, my sustainability values, stuff like that. It felt like a waste. And the older I get, I have noticed that I've kind of distanced myself from that, and I'm not as sustainable minded as I used to be, and then I feel guilt around that. There's just so much to unpack here. But we should also be allowed our little indulgences, and so I think I'm kind of trying to find the middle ground there, and I really like the idea of a scent because I always ask my boyfriend, like, what do I smell like? What scents remind you of me, or what reminds you of me just in general? And I don't smell like anything because I use unscented laundry detergent. I use unscented shampoo and conditioner because fragrance is something you have to be careful about. It can have effects on your health and other people around you and the environment and all that. So I've tried very hard, but he has nothing to like associate me with. And kind of this idea of leaving behind a memory and a legacy, whether it's to friends or family. Like, I like the idea of just little things reminding people of me. Like, sometimes when I go to the lake or I go to a body of water and it smells so strongly of algae or lake water or something, it transports me to a more peaceful time. So I don't know, I'm debating. I'm gonna try it out. If it feels like something, that I don't want to do, or like a waste of money, that's fine. It was also like an expense that was like frivolous for me earlier in life. Like, I had different priorities and goals, and I'm trying to loosen up on trying to save so aggressively. I can't afford a house right now. I'm not going to be able to afford a house for a while, so it's okay if I save a little bit slower for that house. So it's okay if then I decide to spend money on little things that help me enjoy life where I am now, like perfume or a new sweater or stuff like that. So I don't know, that's just kind of where I'm at. I'm in a weird headspace. Maybe this voiceover makes no sense. I'm sorry if it doesn't. But if you're in a transitional time, or if you're in a really, really busy time of life right now where you feel like you suddenly have no energy or time for yourself or your own hobbies, like, I never understood why people come home from work and do nothing but watch TV until I had to work a 40-hour work week, and now I'm like, oh, I freaking understand. I just want to go home, and I'm on my feet all day, so I'm not even like at a desk. Like, I'm walking around all day, and all I want to do when I get home is eat some dinner, take a shower, and tune out. And I've never had that experience before, so I feel like I relate a lot more to the human population. But then we get into this whole, like, that sucks as a society, that's what we have to do, is that we're also burnout and low energy, that we don't have time to do stuff we love sort of thing. So I'm trying to find the balance of like really taking care of myself and really grounding and participating in my hobbies and interests on my days off, and trying to find that quality time with my boyfriend and with myself. And instead of just mindlessly watching YouTube, like last night I watched 2 different versions of Emma. I watched the 1996 version of Emma, and I watched the 2020 version of Emma. So anyway, if you are in a weird place right now, if you're in a weird place mentally, if you're in a transitional period, if you're adjusting to anything, if you're having to deal with any change, please know you're not alone. And finding a small 15 minutes or 5 minutes a day to just breathe and allow yourself to be is a very powerful thing. And that's just what I've had to do. I haven't had time to post on YouTube. I haven't had time to find anything too commonplace or journal about. And that makes me really sad, but I'm also starting a new path in life, and I have to be okay with where I'm at because of that. Yeah, and that's about it. It's a little bit of a shorter video today, just wrapping up here. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day, because you 100% deserve it. I hope you guys are all taking care of yourselves, because we all need that reminder to take care of ourselves a little bit more, to prioritize ourselves. So if there's anything you do or take away from this video, take 5 minutes to turn off your phone, turn off the TV, take a deep breath, or take 5-10 minutes to engage in a hobby that you really love. Have a lovely day. You definitely deserve it. I will see you, I guess, when I see you next.